you are ready to make a change in 2025, if you are ready to really take yourself seriously, if you know that you have not been loving yourself the way that you need to love yourself, if you know you need to lose a little bit of weight and you can stand to give a little honor, sacrifice to God, girl, start with the fast. Girl, hey girl, we are back, okay? We are back with part 3 of our series of, I don't know, a girls club guide to a more sustainable weight loss. Okay, girl, we done did part 1, which was make it plain. We done did part 2, which was basic fat loss science. And now we are on part 3, which is my favorite part, girl. I'm not gonna lie, so let me make sure that my bob is bobbing. Okay, part 3, which is detoxing, a form of self-love. So if you're new here and you haven't been following us for parts 1 and 2, girl, just go back, okay? Just go back 2 videos ago, watch the first one, watch the second one, and catch up to where we are right here, right now, okay? Good morning, and it is part 3, and I'm so excited. And if you're new here, my name is Bianca. I am a fitness enthusiast. I am the founder of Beasting Fitness, which is pretty much just an beginner weight loss guide. It's a 3-week meal plan, breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, accompanied with an 11-day smoothie detox challenge, which has those recipes in there as well. And I am also a corporate professional, young corporate professional. I'm 30. I'm a mom of 2 boys, Jason, Tate. Their ages 2 and 4, and child, they keep me busy, okay? So if I'm talking a little fast in this video, I hope that you can keep up. But this is my favorite part, to talk about detoxing, a form of self-love. So all the way up until now, we kind of just talked about, making it plain, okay? Just, having that entryway conversation to say, hey girl, we're probably overeating. If you've never had to lose weight before, you don't know how to lose weight, you don't know the first thing about losing weight, you don't know the difference between a calorie and a carb, girl, this book is for you. Check out the description for, all of those details. And then we moved into part 2, and then part 2 was talking about, basic fat loss science, which was, kind of that introducing the topics of, being in a calorie deficit, but making sure that we're fueling our bodies with the correct fats, proteins, and carbs, so that we're preventing, muscle catabolism. And we define that, and, we just kind of talked further about tricking the metabolism. Girl, it was so good. I cannot give it to you all right here, right now in this recap. So, again, sorry that I'm so excited, but if you have not already joined the community, then please do so right now. I just finished wrapping up part, 4 of our self-esteem, self-confidence, how to build yourself back up series that we're doing also on this channel. So girl, if you want to be a part of that and you want to be a part of this, because all of it kind of wraps into the theory of self-love, then just tap the subscribe button, tap the notification button. It really helps me out a lot. Lets YouTube know that this video is a good video, that you're really enjoying this content, that it helps you out. So, girl, y'all know I got my notebook, okay? And just to kind of catch you guys up to speed, I wrote the ebook. The ebook is available at its.beunca.com. Again, all of those details are down in the website below. But girl, this is not all stuff that I just made up, okay? This is followed by years of experience, multiple times of me having to lose weight. And then I went and did the research so that you wouldn't have to. And I put it in a book so that the only thing that you had to do, girl, was just go pick up the book, okay? Pick up the book, start taking yourself seriously, and tune into these videos. But just the notes that I wrote down were just my talking points, making sure that I am, hitting the nail on the head and giving you guys the facts as they are, girl. Okay, so let's get into it. Part 3 of our Girls Club Guide to a More Sustainable Weight Loss is detoxing, a form of self-love. Girl, let's get into it. But before we get into it, I want to kind of read you guys something out of the Bible. It's Daniel 10:3. I have this Bible scripture in the Girls Club Guide to a More Sustainable Weight Loss, and it is, and I'm reading out of New Living Translation. In the 3rd year of the reign of King Cyrus of Persia, Daniel had another vision. He understood that the vision concerned events certain to happen in the future, times of war and great hardship. When this vision came to me, I, Daniel, had been in mourning for 3 whole weeks. That's 21 days. That's kind of where they get the whole Daniel's fast from. All that time, I had eaten no rich food, no meat or wine crossed my lips, and I used no fragrant lotions until those 3 weeks had passed, okay? Guys, the whole essence of kind of just what this is, right? I want to point out that he says that he had been in mourning for 3 whole weeks, right? But a little bit right before that, he said, when this vision came to me, okay? I had been in mourning for 3 whole weeks. And all that time, I had eaten no rich food, right? So I wasn't eating no Twinkies, and I wasn't eating no a bag of hot chips, and I wasn't, drinking no wine. I wasn't drinking no Taylor Port, girl. I'm talking to myself, okay? I wasn't having no shot of tequila, right? I wasn't eating no sugary foods, no buttery foods. Basically, I was just eating, vegetables. But I just kind of wanted to break that down a little bit because it's really so good. Daniel talks about that he had a vision, right? So whether that vision for you, and this is not, right, so we're off script right now. So that was the Bible, okay? We just gave a little biblical context to why I even decided to put this part in the weight loss book. It's because this is something that is really near and dear to me when I kind of start beginning to pick myself back up, right? And that's kind of what we talked about in that whole self-esteem, self-confidence, build yourself back up series. So if that's something that really resonates with you, or that sounds like something that you're interested in, then go check those videos out. But along with that, and what I don't talk about in that series that I am talking about in this series is, my fasting and really kind of that sacrificial and sacred and intimate time that I, dedicated to the Lord. I really, it would be remiss of me if I didn't share with you and let you guys know that that definitely contributed to, me practicing self-love, beginning to practice self-love, actually loving myself, actually changing and framing my mindset about, what I thought about myself, what I thought about my body, me being thankful for my body, me being thankful for my provider and sustainer who even created me and gave me this body, right? And so, God thinks of me as a masterpiece. I am his child, I'm his daughter, I am his baby, I mean so much to him, and he does not want me to be stuffing my food, stuffing my face to the point where I'm uncomfortable. Gluttony is also sinful. Just kind of really starting to look at my body or think about my body as a vessel, and really considering the foods that I eat that fuel my body, right? And not just always eating for comfort or because something tastes good or because I just want to taste something, or kind of those type of things. I started the journey off slowly. I think that the first time I ever fasted before, it was a water fast. And I didn't start just, straight out the door, just doing, 21 days water only, right? I didn't do that. I started off very slowly. I started off with a 1-day water fast, and then that maybe led up to a 2-day or a 3-day water fast when I'm guys, just doing nothing but consuming water only, which probably then led to like a 5-day water fast, which probably then led to like a 7-day water fast, right? And I think that as far as just strictly water, that's probably as far as I've gone. But then also, moving into smoothies. So, and that didn't start just out the gate either, just with 11 days or so. I think that I probably had to build myself up. So like 3 days again with nothing but smoothies, smoothies all throughout the day, really detoxing my body. And then, from there, maybe like 5 days, and then, like a 10-day smoothie detox fast. And, I really had a lot of time at the time when I first began fasting. I was living in Atlanta. Y'all know I lived in Atlanta for several years. I didn't have any kids, right? Now I actually have 2 kids. So I'm a mom of 2. So things look a lot differently, but I had a lot more time on my hands to fast, and really just kind of dedicate myself and make sacrifices to the Lord through me just detoxing and emptying my body body out of those bodily toxins and all of those harmful toxins. All of these things, like this detoxing, just really kind of to just shift my mindset around, you know, like I said, the foods that I eat. It made me feel healthier. It made me feel like more like valuable. It made me feel like more like, ooh, like, I don't even know, like, I don't want to say, it made me just feel like really high, like, you know, like a high vibrational person. Like, you know, I was on like a mental high, or the mental clarity that I gained through, you know, fasting and detoxing, just, you know, the closeness that I experienced with God, the vision, you know, just the, just really being, you know, blown away by, one, how long my body could go without, you know, eating anything. Like the fact that I could probably still work out, and still did, you know, work out very light, right? Not going and hitting the gym doing really heavy cardio while I wasn't eating any whole foods, but just being really surprised with how the body could still function and, you know, go every single day, whether that was 1 day, 3 days, 5, 7, 14, 21 days that I did the Daniel fast, you know, just without, like Daniel mentions in the text, any rich foods, you know, or without any meats, without any, you know, wine, which, you know, alcohol has never really been an issue, but, you know, just again, you know, just making it relevant. And I started to feel, you know, so good about myself. And I, you know, wanted God to be just really proud of me. I wanted him to honor my sacrifice. And, you know, even if he didn't return anything to me tangibly or in the form of a blessing, which we all know that God is so gracious and he is so merciful. So that's not even a thing, right? But just, you know, kind of saying that even if nothing happened, you know, just me saying, God, thank you for giving me this body, and really just taking my life, my health, my wellness, my fitness, and my eating, and my temple, you know, really seriously, okay? And so once I started to like take myself seriously, once I started to pour into myself and started to practice self-love, you know, that's when I kind of just fell in love with, you know, just kind of detoxing and fasting. And again, it's not for everybody because everybody has, you know, different health environments, you know, but I do try to do so a couple of times a year, you know, if it's not quarterly, just kind of really depending on where I am. Do I need an answer? Do I feel like I just want to thank God? Do, you know, just where am I in my spiritual journey? But that is kind of just what I wanted to start off with, just reading that text, because one, Daniel talks about a vision that he received, right? So whether that's you having a vision for yourself, right? You're gonna start that business, you're gonna lose, you know, 50 pounds, 30 pounds, 20 pounds, you're gonna lose, you know, 10 pounds, you know, in 2025, you are going to, you know, be more consistent in the gym, you're, whatever it is, right? God, you have a vision, God gave you a vision, you have a vision for yourself, you know, whether that's positive or whether that's negative. It just so happens that, you know, Daniel was speaking about something that was maybe unfortunate to come, but girl, right here we're talking about just being positive, okay? So, you know, when I am running on the treadmill, I cannot lie to you guys, like, and I am like really off script right now, but when I am running on the treadmill, that is one of the times other than detoxing or fasting where my mental is just so clear. Meaning, like, if you do this, right? Like, that's what the frontal lobe of my brain feels like pretty much at all times when I am detoxing and fasting. Just really clear, really lightheaded, really like jubilant, really, you know, that's how I feel. And I love feeling like that. And I also feel like that when I'm running on the treadmill or when I'm exercising or when I'm working out. I don't know, girl, it is just something about getting strong, getting stronger, being fit, strengthening my body, making sure that, you know, healthy things, healthy foods are going into my body. I don't know what it is. Like, it just makes me feel so good. So comment down below if, you know, you have similar experiences. I know the gym is not for everybody, you know, but even if you're just going on a walk, right? Just that mental clarity. So that's kind of why I wanted to start off part 3 of, you know, the weight loss guide. And guys, all of the parts that are in this, you know, all of the videos, part 1, part 2, part 3, those are modeled after the different chapters in the ebook. So just kind of wanted to create something visual, you know, to go along with the actual written text, the actual weight loss guide, the Girls Club Guide to a More Sustainable Weight Loss is what it's called. So the next bullet point is kind of just, what does self-love have to do, with detoxing? And, we kind of just spoke about that a little bit, but the next thing I want to kind of just touch on is, just the self-discipline, right? So we already talked about, the mental clarity, how we could just thank God, just make a sacrifice, just say thank you. But when you're doing that, just getting back down to the weight loss part of it, when you begin to detox, right? So this analogy came from somewhere, I don't know where it came from. If you've heard this analogy before, then please comment down below, and it's definitely in the book as well. Your belly is like a balloon, right? Or I think I put it in a book. If it's not in the ebook, then I think that I read about it in one of my research books while I was studying to put the ebook together. But your stomach, honestly guys, is like this small, right? Inside of your belly. Your stomach is like this small. So when you overeat, right? Or when we eat in general, let's just do eating in general. When we eat in general, then our stomach just pretty much just kind of expands, right? So then maybe after a really big hearty meal, the stomach is like this big, right? Because you can basically think about it like blowing air into a balloon, right? At first the balloon is like this, we're like this, we haven't eaten anything, girl, we're hungry. And when you begin to eat your food, then it expands. So when you begin to blow that air into the balloon, it expands, right? So now our stomachs are, pretty much like this, right? And you can also think about it in terms of like elasticity, right? So then let's just say we're full right here, but we still got some food on our plate, or we're full and we're right here, our stomachs are right here stretched out already, but we just gotta get that last bite of cheesecake, girl. We came here and we spent all this money, so there is no way that we cannot finish every piece of food that is on our plate. So we keep eating, right? And we keep eating, and now our stomachs are like this, girl. So just imagine this here, right? Right? So now we've blown the balloon up to capacity. The stomach, the elasticity is this stretched out, right? So now we're full, we're stuffed, we've overeaten, right? And you guys gotta think about it. This is what begins to, or when you begin to stretch your stomach, right, with overeating, you guys just have to think about, you really don't need that much food, right? You really don't need that much food, because we were good here, right? We were good here when we ate our meal. We had just enough food to, fuel our bodies to the next interval eating window, and we talked about that, last video or so, but instead we kept going. So when we do that, right, we're overeating, and guys, pretty much what we're getting into is just the self-disciplining part of that. When you detox, when you go days without eating, right? When you go days without eating whole foods, you really realize how much we overeat. You really realize, girl, I did not need that last piece of cheesecake. I did not need to eat the whole 5-piece whole wings from All Stars. I did not need to, eat all of those, just whatever it is, right? I did not need to drink a Sprite for lunch, a Coke for dinner, and then turn around and get the sweet lemonade from Wendy's, okay? I did not need to do all of that, right? I was already full. And so you really begin to realize that you overeat, and it doesn't take that much, right? Because every time you expand the stomach, then now the next time it's time for you to eat, now the body is expecting this much food to go in to compensate for, where it has been stretched out to be versus right here, right? And I hope that makes sense. I hope that visual and that example makes sense. I didn't make it up. I got it from somewhere, but when I read it, it made a lot of sense to me visually as well as conceptually. So I wanted to share that with you guys. I encourage you guys to try a water fast, or try, the 11-day smoothie detox challenge that's in the book. You don't have to do all 11 days all at one time if that's your very first time ever detoxing before. I do encourage you, just do 5 days, just do 3 days. It doesn't really matter. But when you do that and you empty your body out, you really get to realize, how much the body can actually do on a day-to-day basis without any foods, and how much we overeat. Guys, and I do understand that there's a difference between, fasting for religious purposes versus fasting for weight loss, right? I am aware of that, right? Because obviously when you're fasting for religious purposes, any other reason that you're doing it other than, honoring God, making a sacrifice to our Heavenly Father, takes away from that. Right? I am fully aware of that. But I am also fully aware that, because I have a relationship with God, that anytime I choose to fast or detox, He is going to be right there with me. He's going to appreciate whatever it is that I'm doing. He is going to honor my sacrifice. And in addition to that, I need Him every step of the way. I need Him every hour to get me through. Girl, I am praying. I am talking to God. God, please honor this sacrifice. God, please get me to the next hour. Heavenly Father, please take away this hunger pain. Heavenly Father, I hope that this is something that is honoring and pleasing unto you, right? So for me personally, and I am always only speaking for myself, baby. But for me personally, it doesn't matter if I am doing it religiously or if I am doing it, to rid of bodily toxins. The Lord is with me the whole step of the way, okay? He is with me, I am with Him. I gotta talk to Him throughout the day in order to even get to where I gotta go, or even to, even be successful while I'm detoxing or fasting. So just wanted to kind of spend, a moment there kind of discussing that too, girl. Because the sacrifice, that I'm giving to the Lord, in return, I am, getting clarity. I am gracious. I'm showing gratitude. I'm growing, in strength. I am, getting closer to God. All of those things, like, these are gifts. This is God being gracious to me, just through small sacrifice and, through honor. And some of these things, guys, can only come from the Most High, from God. So, just this whole self-love, I really started to fall in love with it. And every single time that I do it, I'm really proud of myself after, and I could always just only ask God and hope that God is proud of me as well, in which I know that He is. Because the wisdom, the discernment, the confirmations that, He gives to me, that can only come from our Most High God. And then, not only are you like ridding yourself of these bodily toxins, and let's just talk about that for a minute, right? Because not only do the toxins just have to be, everything spiritual related, but actual bodily toxins, like if we only eat a bunch of processed or packaged food, right? If we only eat a bunch of canned foods, or, if we go outside and we are inhaling like a bunch of, bad fumes, all of those are like toxins. If you drink a lot of alcohol, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of those can be considered as bodily toxins, pollutants in the air, okay? Like, if we want to bring science into it, just all of those are considered as bodily toxins, so as we kind of empty ourselves out with worldly toxins, like literally worldly pollutants in the air, like packaged processed toxins from the foods that we eat, as we rid our body of those toxins, He fills us back up. So when we're detoxing, He fills us back up with joy, with peace, with patience, with kindness, with love, with joy, kind of the fruits, right? The fruits of the Spirit. He fills us back up, guys. And it is such a good thing. So not only are we, gaining and learning self-discipline through this time, realizing that we're overeating, but we're also emptying ourselves out, but being poured back into, with just some of these fruits of the Spirit, guys. And it's really such a good feeling. He's given energy, He's given peace, He's given sustainability, He's given all of these things. And then not only that, if you're seeking Him for an answer, if you're seeking Him to, God, what is the next step? Right? If you're tarrying, right, you're waiting on an answer. Do I go left or right? Do I take the job? Do I leave the job? Do I apply for another job? Do I stay right here? Do I eat the piece of cake? Do I not eat the piece of cake? God, I'm really struggling with this. He gives direction, right? So He gives direction. He does sustain us, right? And next thing you know, He'll be then took away that hunger craving, and you'll be able to have lasted until the next interval eating window. So girl, you cannot tell me that God is not good, and you cannot tell me, you would not be proud of yourself, right? And all of those just micro habits really begin to build up not only your self-esteem, but also your level of discipline and your self-love. You'll be so proud of yourself, for doing it, that I promise you would want to do it again. And guys, I have to just tell you like it is. I have to just tell you, because this is a complete mindset shift. If you are ready to make a change in 2025, if you are ready to really take yourself seriously, if you know that you have not been loving yourself the way that you need to love yourself, if you know you need to lose a little bit of weight and you can stand to give a little honor and sacrifice to God, girl, start with the fast. Whether that is, the 11-day smoothie detox challenge, that's in the Girls Club guide, whether that's just a 1-day or 2-day water fast, whatever it is, girl, I encourage you to kind of just start there. It is a complete mindset shift. You have to take yourself seriously. And one thing that I do talk about in the book is just, allowing your organs to rest. And so let's just talk about it a little bit. Let's just get into it. So let's just say you eat, and I give this analogy in the book, right? But let's just say, you've eaten every single day of your life, and let's just say you're like 30, just like me, right? You've eaten like 3, 4, 5 meals a day, for 30 years, for 365 days. 365 days in a year, multiplied by 30 years, which is how long that you've been living, multiplied by, 3, 4, or 5 meals, right? If you multiply all of that together, that is well over 30,000 meals that you've eaten in your lifetime. Girl, that's a lot of meals, okay? This is not to say that the body does not need whole foods. The body absolutely needs whole foods, and whole foods are important, because that's just literally what we were talking about in our last video. We're just talking about other options, right? We're just also talking about if we want to rid the body of, bodily toxins. If you think about it, and you've never gone one single day without eating, God willing, thank you, God, if we have not ever missed a meal, but also if you have not ever gone a day without eating, girl, I am serious. You've never given your bodily organs time to rest. You gotta think, every single day our body is working to break down food, convert the food into energy, metabolize, store excess for, fat, working to try to prevent us from being sick, whether it's the immune system. Like, all of our bodily organs are working together at all times, every single day. And one thing that fasting and detoxing does is allows the bodily organs to just rest. Girl, don't you go to bed every night? Yeah, every single night, every single night we go to bed, in our beds, we lay our head on our beds, and we sleep, we rest. So when you allow your bodily organs to just get a rest and a reset, girl, you cannot tell me that that is not a form of self-love, and you cannot tell me that your body and your organs will not be thanking you afterwards, okay? So body is like overloaded with toxins, right? Like, it's too many toxins. Too much smoking, too much drinking, too much bad eating, too many like chemical pollutions, all of that, right? But when the body is overloaded with toxins, energy is transformed from, or transferred, that probably should have said transferred away from burning calories, right? But it's transferred from burning calories towards working harder to detoxify of those bodily toxins, right? So when we are overeating, when we have too many toxins in our bodies, we're literally working against, our weight loss journey anyway. We mentioned in the last video that at all times we really want our bodies to constantly be churning, right? Constantly be looking forward to the next window of eating, to constantly be metabolizing. And we already talked about eating those simple carbs that spike our blood glucose levels, right? And during that time we have a delayed sense of burning fat, or the body has a delayed sense of burning fat. Same thing for here, girl. If you have too many toxins in your body, the body is literally working to get those toxins out of the body so that it can get back to breaking down the foods that we eat and convert them into sources of energy. So I hope all of this makes sense, and I hope you guys are following along. If not, drop a comment down below and let me know if there's something that we can elaborate on further in another video or a separate video from now. And you know what's really so interesting? Like, I get so many questions, and I really have to like stop myself and kind of like go back a couple of years and be like, okay, did I know this stuff? in the get-go, you know, I get a lot of questions about how do you do a green smoothie detox? How do you do a green smoothie challenge? How do you do a smoothie challenge? How do you do a smoothie detox challenge? Are you eating foods on the challenge, or are you drinking nothing but smoothies? Like, you know, believe it or not, I get these questions, and you know, at first I would be like, what do you mean, how do you do a smoothie challenge? But then I had to just stop myself and think again, right? For the individuals who've never done this before, or individuals who've never even made a smoothie before, you know, or, you know, just what I still get those questions. And, you know, girl, yes, when I am doing a water fast, I am consuming nothing but water. My water is on rotation. All of those details are in the weight loss book, but yes, I'm consuming nothing but water. I'm not eating food. I'm not drinking alcohol. I may have a black coffee in the morning time. I may not, and that's it. When I'm doing a smoothie detox, girl, I am consuming only smoothies, nothing but smoothies all day long. I may have a black coffee in the morning time. I may not. I'm not eating any food. I'm not drinking. I'm not smoking. I'm not, like, if I, you know, kind of smoke, but you know, I'm not doing those things. I am only consuming green smoothies. I am only consuming fruit smoothies. I am only consuming water when I am detoxing and fasting. So there's that. And you know, if I need to do a separate video on how exactly to do that, or you know, what that looks like, or if you guys need to see that, earlier this year I recorded myself fasting, doing the 11 smoothie recipes, the detox recipes that are listed in the actual weight loss guide. That video is here. I want to check that out, but I think that it would really help you guys. It shows you guys, you know, what it is that I'm putting into the smoothies, how I'm drinking the smoothies, and all of that. So if you guys are interested in that, then go check that out. And girl, we're almost done. But you know, it's just so important because, you know, why green smoothies? Green smoothies, you know, and I'm just gonna read it off of here, but green smoothies provide protein in the form of amino acids, which are easier for the body to break down and digest than meats, or like, you know, animal meats or animal products like that, right? And let's just think about this logically, girl. Let's just actually think about this. If you go to J. Alexander's and you go get a steak, right? Obviously, think about how many times it takes you to actually just chew the steak. The steak is pretty chewy, right? So if you're drinking a smoothie, obviously your body would be able to digest smoothie more efficiently and easier than it would be able to digest the steak that you just had trouble chomping down on. Baby, I will eat me some steak. Again, just giving you a visual aid. So it says that the green smoothies, you know, provide protein in the form of amino acids, which we just said, which are easier for the body to break down and digest than meats and animal products. But again, you know, taking it further, amino acids are the building blocks of proteins. Okay, so the more amino acids that the body is able to break down and digest, then essentially the more amino acids, or the more proteins, excuse me, that the body is actually absorbing. We talked about last video how proteins help to build lean muscle mass, and the more lean muscle mass we have to the ratio of fat, then that determines our basal metabolic rate, right? So we always want to be metabolizing and working as efficiently as possible to get more lean muscle mass, because muscle burns more calories than fat, right? Girl, I gave y'all so much information. It was so juicy in the last 2 videos. Y'all gotta go watch them, and y'all gotta go check them out. And we've already talked about examples of how to rid of bodily toxins, right? You can do, you know, a juice cleanse, you can water fast, you know, smoothie detox. You know, those are just kind of some examples in order to do that. Also, when you're consuming the waters, when you're consuming the smoothies, and I'm not gonna talk about this, you know, really in depth here because I go into this in the actual Girls Club guide, but it's really important that when you are detoxing and when you are fasting, that you are switching your waters on rotation, okay? That we're not only just drinking bottled water, or that you're not only just drinking, you know, like mineral water, but that you're rotating the waters, you know, as often as possible. Or, you know, if you have like a set routine, which you may want to go check out that video that I was telling you about, you know, my 11-day smoothie detox challenge video, you know, kind of so that you can get a good idea of the water rotation. And if you are interested in getting the ebook, then we also talk about that water rotation in the book as well. But But you really want to make sure that when you are fasting or when you are detoxing, you are rotating your waters. And that's really important, because while we are detoxing and while we are fasting, the body is like basically ridding of electrolytes. You're ridding of everything, right? So the electrolytes that you use pretty much need to be replenished. The smoothies have like a high water content, which is allowing for rehydration. So that is why you want to make sure that you are rotating your waters. And I don't know if you guys follow Jazz Turner, but I do watch her videos that she posts. There's one particular series, but she was thinking about water as like a beauty drink, because I know that some of you guys don't like to drink water. That was never really personally an issue of mine. I've always liked water. I love water, and so I don't have a problem with drinking water. But I know that she talked about kind of considering water as like a beauty drink. So while we are on the tip of self-love, I think that that's a really good idea to try to implement, or a good way to think about consuming water, because water when you are detoxing definitely rehydrates the body, and we're replenishing those electrolytes, and all of that is a really important part to water fasting. And a couple of ideas of different waters in what while you are rotating, while you're fasting, if you've never fasted or detoxed before, I'll put those kind of over here. And electrolytes are, kind of really important. So while your body is like, getting rid of bodily toxins, it's, even getting rid of those electrolytes as well, which we need electrolytes. And just going to point out before we end this video, because the detoxing can really lead to like mineral and electrolyte deficiency, or more like an imbalance. So we really need those minerals, we really need those electrolytes, kind of just to I don't know, I have a couple of bullets here listed, so I'll just read some of those. Balance the amount of water that's in the body, balance the acidity levels that are within the body, or the pH level. The electrolytes also help to move nutrients into cells and helps to move waste out of cells. Okay, so that's really important. So when we think about self-love, not only are we making sure that our physical, or that our outward appearance is up to par, but that we're also within ourselves, actually literally right inside of ourselves, that our cells are getting rid of all of those waste or being replenished with nutrients. I don't know, that type of stuff is just important to me. Sure that the heart and brain are functioning as intended. Okay, girl. So in the end, girl, your body's really gonna be thanking you for it. I am so happy that I got to share this information with you. I think that I've already talked a lot, so I'm pretty much just gonna end the video here. If you made it this far in the video, thank you in advance for watching. Again, go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. I would love to have you, be notified when part 4 drops of this series. And if nothing else, guys, I hope you have a good one. I hope you do something today to feel good about yourself. I hope you, begin to really deeply and seriously consider this concept of self-love. I love you guys. I love myself. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.